Prefixes, roots, and suffixes. This goes back to, 5th grade grammar, making compound words, remember that? Root word, you add something to the beginning, something to the end. That's basically what medical terminology does. So the root of the word is basically the foundation. It always keeps the same meaning. For example, cardi is a root word meaning heart. We can stick things on the front of the word and the end of the word, and we can create a new word, but cardi always refers back to the heart. So, for example, if I put peri in the front of cardi, peri means around. So peri is one of those words that you should know. Peri means around. So pericardial means around the heart. Myocardium, myo means muscle. So myocardium, we're talking about the heart muscle. Here's a couple of common root words. These you should know. You're going to see them again and again. Cardio, I already said, means heart. Gastro, what do you think gastro means? Stomach. Arthro, joint. Dermato, skin. How about hepato? Liver. And osteo, bone. So those are some pretty common ones. We have root words that can mean a couple of different things. Colors, for example, over here. Cyano means blue. Erythro means red. Leuco means white. So prefixes are just word parts that we put on the front of a word. So prefixes, we can tell a lot of different things with prefixes. We can tell how big something is, its shape, its direction, its location. We can make a word a negative. If we put a or an in front of a word, you should write that down. A or an in front of a word, it means without. We can give numbers, right? You guys already know these. Mono, bi, tri, quad, all prefixes. If we put them in front of a word, we're giving an idea of a number. Poly. Poly is a prefix that we see a lot. Poly means what? Many, or multi. So here's some common prefixes. Multi, neo means new. Anti and anti. Look, notice the spelling difference. One means against and one means before. Somebody give me a word with this anti with an I. Antibiotic, antibacterial, antiviral, right? All means against. How about with anti with this spelling? Anterior, antenatal, very good. Antepartum, before birth. Sub, below, okay, under or below. Hyper and hypo, should know the difference. Hyper, above or in excess. Hypo means below. Hypoglycemia, hypovolemia, hypotension. What would hypotension be? Low blood pressure, exactly, low blood pressure. And suffixes, prefixes go in the beginning, suffixes go on the end, and they basically tell us, is the word a noun or is it an adjective? Is it a thing in and of itself, or does it describe a thing? Almost all of our medical terms have a suffix. There's a couple of exceptions, but almost all of them have a suffix. And these are just a couple of common words. All of these endings down here, if we add them to a word, they basically mean pertaining to. So if I said cardiac, for example, if I put the AC, cardiac means pertaining to the heart. An ectomy. An ectomy means a surgical removal of. Itis, that one you should definitely know. Itis is really common. Inflammation of whatever. Megaly means enlargement of. Pathy means disease. Okay, so general suffixes. Again, I already gave you one. Remember ologist, right? If ologist was the suffix, it was somebody who specialized in. If I put that in front of cardi, what do I get? Cardiologist. Exactly. When we combine these terms together, basically what we do, it's kind of like a puzzle. Do you ever see those little magnets that they're one word each and you put them together? It's kind of like that. You're kind of picking this word and you're picking this part and you're putting this part and you put them together and you make new words. So for example, cardio and gastro. Cardio-gastric. Usually when we're referring to anything as cardio-gastric, it's referring to a location above the stomach and below the heart. That's what we're talking about. Gastromegaly. Anybody remember what megaly meant? Enlargement. So gastromegaly would be what? Think about your stomach after Thanksgiving dinner. Gastromegaly. Gastroenectomy. Surgical removal of the stomach. What if I put hemi in front of that? Removal of half the stomach. Exactly. Hemigastrectomy. There, I got 3 parts. Put them together and you get a new term. Gastroentero means intestine. So stomach, intestine, and ology means study of. So gastroenterology, study of stomach and the intestines. What would the specialist in that area be called? Gastroenterologist. Very good. See, it's easy. So, to figure it out, you're all experts already, look. To figure it out, if you don't know, if you're reading a chart or you're reading a report or something and you come across an unknown medical term, break it down. The easiest thing to do is break it down. Look at the suffix first. Don't look at the beginning of the word, look at the end of the word first. The end of the word is going to tell you, is it a noun or is it describing something? So once you figure out what type of word it is, then go back to the beginning. Look at the prefix and then the root word. So start at the end and then go back to the beginning. So look at the suffix, then go back at the beginning, look at the prefix, and then the root word. Almost all of your medical terms you can break down this way. Now there's obvious exceptions. Eponyms, right? It's a guy's name or a woman's name or a place's name. You're not going to be able to break it down that way. Acronyms, you're not going to be able to break down that way. Okay? And certain terms, you're going to see word parts like, huh? Like, what does that mean? If you remember a key few, you should be okay. So, gastroenteritis. Itis was what? Inflammation of. So, gastritis would be inflammation of the stomach. All right, so for practice, osteogenesis. What do you think genesis means? Origin or beginning, right? The origin or the beginning, or if it's easier to define, the creation of. To generate. Osteo means bone, so it's creation of bone. What if I put osteoneogenesis? Creation of new bone. Pericarditis. Inflammation around the heart. Very good. See, it's like a puzzle. You just put them together. Is just a noun ending. Just means it's a noun. It's a thing. So you don't really have to say the thing of. Cardio and muscle, heart muscle. Right? It's just the noun form of the heart muscle. Gastroesophageal. Remember, pertaining to? Very good. Pertaining to the stomach and the esophagus. Dyspepsia. Pepsia refers to digestion. Dys means difficult, painful, or abnormal. So dyspepsia is what we commonly call indigestion. Difficult digestion. Heartburn. It's the layman's term. Aphasia. The IA, actually I should add another one on here. The IA means pertaining to. Phago means to eat or to swallow. So what do you think that means? What about the A? Without. So aphasia, inability to swallow, right? Pertaining to without swallowing, technically. Unable to swallow. All right? What if I made that dysphagia? Difficult or painful swallowing. If somebody has dysphagia, they have a hard time swallowing. They choke on their food. All right, any questions on midterm? All right, let's jump into chapter 1.